What is up, everybody? We are going to take a look at the top collectible sales from July 2023, and we are specifically looking at sports magazines, comics, game used memorabilia, and sports cards. So I do this each month. I always look at sports magazines, comics, and sports cards. I like to mix up the third medium, and this month we're going to check out some game used memorabilia. So let's jump right in, starting with the sports magazines. I've already put out my in-depth, detailed sports magazine moguls video, so check that out for even more sales with the sports magazines. But quick recap here of the top five, starting off, and we had a tie at number five, or I'm sorry, a tie at number four. And first up, we've got this Muhammad Ali, still known here as Cassius Clay. This is his first Sports Illustrated cover from 1963. It is a newsstand copy. It is a CGC 7.0 and sold for $3,000 in a private sale. There have been 28 copies of this graded in newsstand. It's a pop 1 of 3 at the 7.0 level, and there are 17 graded higher. Also tied at number four, we've got the Holy Grail Mickey Mantle first cover from 1956. This is a CGC 6.0 newsstand copy that sold for $3,000 on eBay. There are a total of 58 newsstand copies graded in the CGC census. There are 5 6.0s, and there are 33 copies graded higher. Coming in at number three, we have the 1991 Sports Illustrated Dream Team issue, and this has been autographed by all 5 Hall of Fame players that are featured on the cover. You've got Charles Barkley, Magic Johnson, Patrick Ewing, Michael Jordan, and Karl Malone. It's been authenticated by JSA, and it sold for $3,828 on eBay. Coming in number two from 1965, this is Broadway Joe Namath's first Sports Illustrated cover. It's an 8.0 from CGC, and this sold for $5,000 in a private sale. Thank you to the buyer for reaching out to me to let me know about this sale. Went for, there have been 16 graded copies, and this is one of 3 8.0s. There is only one issue graded higher. And coming in as the number one highest selling sports magazine from last month, we've got 1984 Sports Illustrated, Michael Jordan's first pro cover, A Star is Born. This particular issue has made a lot of headlines lately, but last month, this particular autographed copy sold for $7,500 in a private sale. It has not been graded by CGC, but has been authenticated and slabbed by Beckett. Next up, taking a look at comics, and the number 5 highest selling comic from last month was 1962 Amazing Fantasy number 15. This is the first appearance of Spider-Man. This is a CGC 4.5 copy that sold for $40,800 on Heritage. There have been 3,771 total copies of this graded. Of those, 2,457 are universal blue labels. And at the 4.5 level, it's a pop 177. There are 574 higher graded copies. At number 4, we're sticking with Spidey. Once again, his first appearance from 1962, Amazing Fantasy number 15. This one's a CGC 5.0, so just a slight step above, and went for $43,200. Also on Heritage, we already discussed the pop counts on this one, but there are 151 5.0s and only 423 higher copies. And sticking with the Spidey theme, once again, 1962 Amazing Fantasy number 15. This one's a CGC 7.5 restored. It does denote on the label that there is a small amount of color touch on the cover, which is why it got the purple restored label. And this one went for $44,400 on Heritage. At number 2, 1940 Detective Comics number 37. This is the last cover, this is the last appearance of Batman without Robin. So the last solo appearance of Batman, and it's a CGC 8.0, sold for $53,000 on Comic Connect. There have only been 73 copies of this one graded, 52 of which are universal, and at the 8.0 level, it's a pop 2 with only 2 graded higher. And the number one highest selling comic from last month, we're going back to 1942, Wonder Woman issue number 2. It's a CGC 9.6, and it sold for $65,000 on Comic Connect. 95 graded copies of this issue, 76 of which are universal, and this is a pop 1 with none higher. Moving on to game used memorabilia. Never done this category before, so this one should be interesting. And coming in at number 5, we have a 1999 game used bat used by Cal Ripken Jr., and it was a walk-off home run, and comes with a letter of authenticity along with the date of the game, and this sold for $10,000 on eBay. Coming in at number 4, we have Chase Elliott, NASCAR driver, and we've got an autographed race helmet. Now, this one was noted that the sale went towards charity, and that may have driven up the price a little bit, but this one sold for $10,900 on eBay. Coming in at number 3, Lionel Messi match-worn Barcelona jersey sold for $16,000 on Goldin auctions. Number 2, we have a Dale Earnhardt Sr. worn fire suit that sold for $18,000 on eBay. And coming in at number 1 for the highest selling game used memorabilia, check out these worn boots from Hulk Hogan with an inscription. It says, "These are my real boots with my real blood on them from MSG, Madison Square Garden," signed by Hulk Hogan. And you can indeed see blood stains, especially on that boot on the left. Incredible item here, went for $66,000 on Goldin auctions. And last but not least, we're looking at the top 5 highest selling sports cards from last month, and we're starting off with number 5, the iconic 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle. This is a PSA 6 copy, and it sold for $186,000 on Heritage. There have been just over 1,500 copies of this card graded, and at this level of PSA 6, it's a pop 123 with 156 copies graded higher. Number 4, another iconic card. This is the Michael Jordan 1986 Fleer rookie card. This is a PSA 10 copy, and it sold for just over $200,000 on Goldin auctions. There have been 23,000 plus copies of this card graded through PSA, and this is one of 318 PSA 10s. At number 3, a much more rare item here. This is from 1925, and it's with exhibits. This is Lou Gehrig, and it's a PSA 3.5, sold for $206,400 on Goldin auctions. There have only been 27 graded copies of this card, and is a pop 1 with 16 copies higher. Number 2, the GOAT of the NFL. This is 2000 playoff contenders Tom Brady. This is a rookie card. It's graded a BGS 8.5 with a 10 for the auto, and it is autographed. This sold for $402,000 on Heritage. There have been 82 copies graded, and this is a pop 28 with 9 copies graded higher. And coming in at number 1, going back to 1916, famous and bar Babe Ruth card. You can see him pitching there for the Boston Red Sox. This is a PSA 4. It sold for $645,000 on Heritage. Only 6 graded copies in the PSA census for this one. It is a pop 1 with 3 copies graded higher. All right, that's it. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate likes, comments, and subscribes. And until the next video, we'll see you next time.